Bryce, you said your legal bills have gone up 30% year on year. Yep.
Correct.
What are your views on collaborative contracting?
Well, what I understand collaborative contracting to mean is that the client, well, all stakeholders involved in the process of completing a commercial project work together.
Yep.
From day one to complete that project. Okay.
That's never the case, though, is it?
Sorry.
That's never the case, though, is it?
Not very often. No. Very often. No. I mean, recently the construction industry has been very, very busy, and clients and their risk advisors have said, look, if you want to get this construction project built in the next 2 years, you're going to have to align yourself with a commercial construction contractor that you're happy with and work through the process from day one. We call it early contractor involvement, ECI projects.
Yep.
But as the market's getting tighter and tighter, we're seeing that drop off. The risk advisors are saying the industry's getting slower. Let's move to a tendered approach, and let's get the cheapest price we possibly can. In my mind, all stakeholders involved in the project do not get the best result from a tendered project. At the end of the day, it's about the lowest common denominator.
Cost.
What?
Yeah. It really interests me, though, how so many decisions are made in the construction industry based on either 3 key milestone dates or of a dollar number. That's it. Literally.
Exactly, and you know,
number of PCG meetings I've been to, and I'm going, it's ridiculous the number of decisions that get made, literally based on 3 key milestone dates or a dollar number. That's
correct.
it.
And they haven't assessed the risk.
No, risk, the
for
quality
themselves,
of the design.
for their client,
Yeah,
etc. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what? Okay, help me understand. So why is it that the clients think the main construction company is a big bad wolf coming out to get them? Isn't that a commonly perceived notion in the industry?
I think it is. I think that we've always had the situation where, well, not always, but traditionally,
Yeah.
the tendered construction market is how the construction market has existed.
Yep.
It's only recently in the last 10 or 15 years that ECI projects or getting a contractor on early to help through the design process, etc., help de-risk the project for all stakeholders.
Do they really, though, from your experience?
I think so. A commercial construction company that adds to an ECI process
Yep.
will ensure that you don't get halfway through the job and there's a dispute occur because something was left out off the drawings.
But that doesn't completely eliminate the paper war that goes on between the consultants and the main construction company that does it.
It doesn't completely. No, it doesn't. It doesn't completely.
Yeah.
But it certainly eliminates a lot of them.
Yep. And that's a big step forward, isn't it? It's a huge step forward.
I do find that sometimes the stakeholders on the other side of the fence don't listen.
Yep.
And
when you say stakeholders,
clients, consultants,
Yeah.
etc., that during the ECI process, on a number of projects, for instance, might be talking about a vertical construction project, and
Yeah.
there's always a question around whether we should look at a concrete structure or a steel structure.
Yep.
And for various reasons within our side of the table, the construction side of the table, we say no. You should be looking at this, and these are the reasons why. Whereas on the other side of the table, it's a commercial decision typically.
Yep. So it's interesting. You're looking at it from a buildability perspective, and a client and the project management company
and risk management. Definitely,
and risk,
definitely
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's time, cost, buildability, risk for you. For them, it's one thing and one thing only. It's, hang on, what date are we going to finish? How much is it going to cost me?
Typically, correct.
Yeah. So how do you manage that ECI process? How do you then get more collaborative and bridge that gap? Because you obviously want to do a good job, build it smarter, faster, better, at the cheapest price, get in, get out as quickly as you can, make a margin in the process. And they want exactly the same thing. But what's the barrier in between?
The barrier...
Because the goals are common.
But,
but the drivers are different.
The goals are definitely common.
Yep.
From our point of view, we always want to have a successful project for all stakeholders. And as you say, the drivers are different. We are always wanting to basically, as you say, for a commercial construction company, if a project runs late, they're losing money. Full stop.
Absolutely.
Full stop.
I've always said it time and time again.
Yeah.
Time is way more expensive than money.
Correct.
You lose money, you can make more money, no problem. You lose time, it's lost forever. Never getting it back.
So with experience, which comes after a number of years in commercial construction, one can look at a project and say, well, this is where I'm going to have problems.
Yep.
This is where we need to deal with this client team, and these are the issues that we need to deal with, and this is how I would deal with them. And we pass that knowledge on to the client team and help them work through every issue that comes up during those during the time of the ECI project.
Do you think that the current NZ3910 contract, I know I said I won't bring it up, but is a contributing factor as a driving wedge between the client and the main construction company as an impediment to that ECI process?
I recently had to employ a consultant to help me with an extension of time claim,
Andy,
and she said to me that NZS 3910 has an underlying requirement that both the client and the contractor are to work together to finish the project.
Right.
And from my point of view, I really do value that mental, that requirement. And for us, it's about working together. And if I've got to pull out a contract and look at a contract, then I possibly haven't done my job properly.
It's a very interesting perspective. But you still haven't answered my question. I'm going to hold you to an answer.
Sure.
Is NZ3910 a contributing factor to drive in that wedge between the client and the consulting team and the main contracting company in the ECI process?
I would have said the specials quite often do, but not NZS 3910 in its standard form.
Interesting.
I think it's relatively fair. The roles and responsibilities of both parties are relatively clear.
It's relatively fair and it's relatively vague, conveniently. But anyways, each to their own. But yeah, no, interesting. Yeah, I've always had a perspective that I don't know. I've always wondered how a construction company would manage that challenge, because you're going to sign up to an NZS 3910. Do you already have that in the back of your mind when you're getting into that ECI process? And does that drive behaviors and decision making? Do you know what I mean? I've always wondered it. I've been part of a few ECIs. My time in construction. And
once again, from the commercial side, yes. Yep. I would say that from the commercial side, I would expect my commercial team are thinking about that as we're going through the ECI process. From the delivery side, which is what I deal with, it's about risk management.
Yep.
Okay.
Design, buildability, construction efficiency.
Correct.
All of the good things.
All of the things that, as long as you do that right, you don't have to pull out NZS 3910.
Yeah, you don't. You don't have to deal with the contract.